In this video I kind of want to talk a little bit about neck knives, why we carry a neck knife, why some people prefer it over other carries, the different ways you can carry it, the different methods of carrying it. I am a big fan of carrying a knife around my neck. It has a lot to do with Morris Kohansky in 1988. I took a class from him. He kind of introduced me to the Mora knife. He introduced me to the neck carry and a bazillion other different things that he really opened my eyes to a whole new world. If you ever get a chance to take one of his classes, and he's getting up there in years, I got to tell you, do it, because the man is a genius, and a lot of people in the bushcraft and survival industry owe him a lot, and he does not get the credit that he deserves. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. For me, I really enjoy carrying a knife around my neck. There's a few safety things that we'll talk about. How to carry it, the advantages and some of the disadvantages. Alright, so one way to carry it is a handle up method. So when it's sitting on your chest, the handle is up, pointing towards your chin. The Mora knives really lend themselves to this. They really lend themselves to being carried around your neck also. They're usually pretty thin profile, which is nice to have. They're lightweight, which is another thing that I like in a neck knife. They have full handles, which is a big deal to get your grip right on there and to use the knife properly. So they're not really marketed as a neck knife, but they work very well. This one here is a sheath that I made, and this one's a Turley neck knife. I think it was a Boone's Branch, if I remember right. Another just solid neck knife. I've used it a lot. Great little knife. Made the sheath for it, and I made it in a neck knife style carry. Now the sheaths are pretty important. I prefer either a plastic or a Kydex sheath, and I think the reasons for that is kind of obvious. If you fall down, you really don't want your knife getting rammed through your sheath and into your body part. Now, I've never heard of anybody falling down and being impaled by carrying a neck knife. Is it possible? Sure. It's possible to get hit in the head with a meteor or two. So just take that for what it's worth. This leather sheath I made here, I put an extra thick welt in it. The welt is all the way down here. The knife doesn't come anywhere near the welt. I double stitched it, and it's not going anywhere. Something else I really like to make sure that happens with these neck knives is that they're secure, right? You should be able to flip them upside down without these knives coming out, right? That's important. You need to have them secure in there. Also, the way that you secure them around your neck is important. There's a few different methods that I have here. This one's a leather thong, right? It's just a piece of leather you can get at a craft store. You can make it yourself, nice and thin. Breaks very easily, and that's kind of the key. I shouldn't say it breaks very easily, but I would imagine if you hung 40 pounds on this, it'd break. So my point is that you don't want something around your neck that somebody can grab and choke you out with. You want it to be able to come apart, or if it gets caught on something when you're going through the woods, you don't want this to choke you out. So it's good to have something that's breakable. On this sheath, I drilled holes through here and put smaller tensile line, and then just used the sheath, which is still about 220 pounds, the sheath of 550 cord. But these are right around 60 pounds, this breaking strength of this cord right here. And on this Mora here, I used a cord lock. Alright, and a cord lock will slide, but yet hold it to where you want it. So even if it gets pulled on it, it'll slide. And that's usually the method that I use, is with the cord lock. Alright, so like I said, one of the ways that we can do this is handle up. And I'll talk about some of these knives that are handle down also. Okay, so carrying a knife handle down so that the point is actually towards your chin. I like to have a solid Kydex or plastic sheath to do this, for obvious reasons. Alright, once again, we want to have a nice solid sheath if we're going to neck carry. This carrying system on this one is a piece of 550 cord, but it has a little piece of dog tag chain in there. and it comes undone not real easy, but easy enough that you're not going to get choked. The Becker BK11 here, I have a cord lock, and on this little custom from River Bottom Knives I have a cord lock also. Alright, this knife here is a neck knife from Newt Livestay. I hope I said that right. I have not used this yet. This knife's brand new. I only got it a few months ago, but I've been looking for one for a while. A guy on YouTube named Cole Hain, he goes by Picked in some places. Super smart guy, really good in the jungle, like a machete master. He had a great video on this knife and having a whole survival kit built into the sheath. So it was really a good video. This is a Becker production knife. You can get them for about 35 bucks. Super solid knife. You know, you're not going to beat it up. This one here is a River Bottom knife, and it has kind of a neat little deal on it, a locking mechanism. It's got a Chicago screw on there. When you push it down, right, it locks the knife in place. When you come up with it, the knife comes right out. Right, so very cool. Works real well. Jamie did a real nice job on it, and I haven't really beat on it much yet, but I'm sure it'll hold up just fine, just like all his knives do. And one of the reasons I wanted to get one of these is because, once again, it's got that nice full handle. Okay, you can do a lot of stuff with a small blade, but you can't do a lot of stuff with a small handle. So you really need to, if you're going to get a neck knife, I would advise you get something with a nice full handle that you can get a good grip on. And then this BK11, pretty basic knife. Once again, solid. It's not going to fall apart on you. It's not going to come out of that sheath. Once again, all right. None of these are going to come out of the sheaths. All right. And we'll put a few of these on and talk about carrying them and the advantages and disadvantages of them. One of the main things that I like about neck carrying knives is the concealability of it. It doesn't have a real threatening presence to it. Even in a t-shirt, a lot of times, if you're just walking through the woods or walking on trails, you don't have a knife hanging off your belt, it can be a bonus to have this. Still have a knife accessible, still have it ready to go, but yet it doesn't draw any attention to you. Some people want attention, some people don't, so it's up to you. A knife like this has a really thin profile. Okay, I can put it on, slide it down into my sweatshirt. You can't even tell that I have it on. Even if you add stuff to it, like a little survival kit or something, it's hard to tell. Now something the size of a Mora, it's a little bit bigger, but still, all right, it's not real easy to tell that you have something there. It doesn't print real bad. So that's one advantage. Another advantage is it's positive contact. You always know that this knife is around your neck. Okay, you can feel it, you can feel the weight of it, and that kind of goes with why you want kind of a lighter knife for a neck knife type carry. I tried carrying that Blind Horse Boat Tail Scandi, which is a great knife, but man, it was just pretty heavy around my neck. So I really prefer carrying a nice lightweight knife. But you always have that positive affirmation that that knife is right on your chest. Something else that's really important, I think, is in the wintertime, you may have a lot of clothes on, especially up north, and you may have several layers on. You may have certain pants on over that you have a belt. A lot of times, places, some schools and different military organizations don't even want you to be wearing a belt in the wintertime. So you have to wear suspenders because a belt can constrict your circulation. So a neck carry is perfect for that situation also. So grab another one out of here. This is that Livestay one. See if I can get it on my head. And this, once again, nice thin profile, doesn't print easy. It's handy, it's right here. I'm ready to go with it. And I can carefully put it back in there. That's kind of one of the disadvantages, is putting it into the sheath and taking it out of the sheath. You have to be careful, you have to be mindful. You can't whip it out like you're going into combat or you're drawing on somebody. I don't think. I think it's a good place to maybe damage your clothing or even damage you a little bit. But that's a pretty small disadvantage compared to all the other advantages that you get from it. So if you're thinking about carrying a neck knife, once again, thin profile is best, nice lightweight, you can conceal it easy, and in my opinion, it's just a great way to carry a knife.